Good evening, everybody. Welcome to episode number 17 of the Fanboys Anonymous Group Meeting Podcast. I'm your host, the owner of fanboysanonymous.com, Tony Mango, and with me on the panel tonight, we've got a bunch of different fanboys here. We've got Sam Lassio.
How's everyone doing tonight?
Shaun Walker.
Playing Minecraft.
Joseph Stahlman.
Hey, how's it going?
And Calen Bruce.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
Alright, guys, we are officially called to order. This meeting is going to be about Star Wars, mostly the spinoffs. We've been hearing a lot of different stuff about how Disney wants to do basically a movie a year and just make this franchise as profitable as possible, as if it wasn't already. But not a whole lot of details coming out so far, so let's just speculate. Let's talk about what we want to see happening, what we think might end up happening, any of the sort kind of stuff like that. So who wants to throw out the first suggestion out there? What would you like to see as far as Star Wars in the future?
Okay, I'll start it off then.
Some droid was just talking right then.
Yeah. There's been a lot of rumor and speculation that there is going to be a spin-off about bounty hunters and stealing the original Death Star plans. We thought that was going to be the first spin-off until Rogue One was announced, so I'm kind of still hoping that if the bounty hunter plot is not in Rogue One, that it will get its own movie.
Now, you wrote an article on Fanboys about Rogue One, but I haven't been privy to too much information about that. Give us a little backstory about what has been thrown out there about that movie.
All right, guys. So for those of you who are fans of the Star Wars universe but are not like the ultra sweaty nerds like some of us are, then you might remember from the original Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope, that at the Battle of Yavin, which was the very end of the movie, they're going to destroy the Death Star, and there's that famous little thing that Family Guy kind of made fun of, where they're like, gold leader standing by, red leader standing by, red 2 standing by. Red Squadron, after the battle into Episode 5, becomes Rogue Squadron, and the Red Leader becomes Rogue Leader, also known as Rogue One. So this movie, just by the title, is essentially telling us that it's going to be about the Rogue Squadron. Now, about where it takes place in the timeline, we're going to have to ignore all of the expanded universe stuff. So all of the books and comics in the past that people have been hoping might be canon. It is now Star Wars Legends. We're just going to have to ignore that. So the Rogue Squadron existed after Episode 4, during the events of Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back, and actually in Return of the Jedi, they went back to Red Squadron. So Rogue Squadron only really existed at the end of 4, all of 5, and like the beginning of 6. Which means Rogue Leader, there were only 2 of them, Luke Skywalker and Wedge Antilles. Now, in the expanded Star Wars Legends universe, they did go back to Rogue Squadron after Episode 6. So there is the possibility that Rogue One can still bridge the gap, either between Episodes 6 and 7, The Force Awakens, could take place after The Force Awakens, since the movie comes out after Episode 7, and could maybe even bridge a gap between 7 and 8, or it could take place concurrent to The Empire Strikes Back.
Now, the main guy that we've been seeing from Episode 7, which they're really, really sparse on the details that they're letting people know, but Oscar Isaac's character, Poe Dameron, god damn, I hate that name.
Sounds like a movie.
It sounds really terrible, like a horrible fanfic name or something. But he is a part of the Rebel Alliance, or I guess they're not the Rebel Alliance anymore if they're, in charge. Are they rebelling against?
They'll probably go by the title The New Republic.
They better. Makes more sense. Yeah, he's seen in one quick shot in an X-Wing, so maybe this is kind of a vehicle for him. I think that the only thing that they've announced so far is Felicity Jones, and Jones is in this, right?
Yeah, that's the only name that's definitely tied to it.
She's cute. I'm down for it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would think that this would be the bounty hunter one. I think that that's probably something a little bit different.
Yeah, well, the at least the one with the bounty hunter. If they're doing the stolen Death Star plans, if they're going back in time, and it's gonna be a whole movie about that time period. I honestly don't feel the need to see it. I want to watch something new and, you know, explore completely brand new characters. You know, they can go in any direction they want to go in. I wouldn't mind seeing stuff about the Rogue Squadron, though. I just don't know how well that would sell as far as, like, you know, starship battles, I guess.
See, I'm of that weird camp where I love Star Wars. I mean, it's like one of my favorite series of all time. But there's
Definitely.
aspects of it that I don't really love.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's kind of the difference between whether or not you like Star Trek and Star Wars, but amplified. Like, I don't care whatsoever about the starships.
Oh, yeah.
Or the aliens.
I'm there with you. And, like, don't get me wrong, Wedge is a great character. And
Wedge is
now
awesome.
now that, like, it's legend, it won't be, you know, it's not part of canon or whatever. But some of his stuff I've read about him when he wasn't in a massive battle, that was more interesting than the actual battle, because I don't know, I just didn't really care about it.
Fun fact about Wedge, the guy who played him is actually related to Ewan McGregor.
Oh. I've met is it Dak? I've met Dak. He was at a Comic-Con one time.
Did he die?
No, but he was super cool, and he just totally made fun of himself. And he's like, actually, I'm in the movie for like 5 minutes, but half of that that's not me. It's somebody else. Like, it's just my stunt double.
Hey,
Nice.
It's better to meet Dak than it is to meet Porkins.
Oh man.
Although I'm pretty sure at any convention you could probably find like 100,000 people that could end up being Porkins.
But when you started saying you were talking about the like Rogue Squadron, and you were naming off the names, that's the first thing I thought of. Porkins, I don't know if I'm gonna make it.
Jack, pull up. No, I'm okay. Pull
And he's
up.
like,
I'm
outside.
all right. Oh, I'm dead. What a fucking idiot. That Family Guy joke is great, by the way. The Red Fox standing by.
Oh yeah, simply red.
Standing by.
About the Bounty Hunter one, I think I'd be good with seeing that movie, but it kind of depends how they would do that. The thing that I don't really like about bridging the gap between 3 and 4 is how many different characters do they really have show up? Because these actors are old now.
Mm-hmm.
And you obviously can't, show a quick scene of, like, they're bumping into Luke when he's 18, because
I hate
he's
those.
in his 50s, 60s, whatever now. So they got to, like, play really kind of carefully about that, because you can't just introduce all new characters or else nobody's going to give a shit. But you can't introduce a whole lot of people that, aren't like Yoda or Darth Vader, where you can get around it. You can have anybody play Darth Vader, and as long as you've got James Earl Jones' voice, it's the same thing.
Right.
But, and Yoda, of course, totally CGI. But you can't really CGI Alec Guinness. So, like, while I would love to see adventures of, like, different things that have happened between them, it's really kind of tricky to pull that off. And another thing with the Death Star plans, didn't they say Bothan spies stole them?
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, they said many Bonthans died to retrieve it.
Oh, so maybe the bounty hunters were just destroying Bonthans like it was cool.
Wait, no. I'm
actually.
Actually, I'm mixing them up. That was Return of the Jedi.
For the code.
Oh, the second. Yeah.
Yeah, Mon Mothma,
Yeah.
the other chick in the universe other than Princess Leia. That's the one
Is
where
there
she
a
says
band, maybe? That we
many
could
Bothans
do
died.
this?
Yeah. Which show that scene. I don't know what Bothans look like, but just cut to that part before Return of the Jedi where they all get slaughtered.
Are you guys all cool with going back and seeing stuff from that time period, though? Like, I don't mind flashbacks, but do you want to see a whole movie set in that time period?
I don't mind seeing movies that like flash back in time. My only concern is I don't think we're going to see a movie that bridges episodes 3 and 4, because if you think about it, they already have Star Wars Rebels, the TV show on the Disney Channel. They have the now everything is canon, which means that all the books and the comic books they have now are canon, and they already have like a Star Wars Rebels-ish book either out or coming out. I don't even know if it's
It comes
yet.
out it comes out in September, and it's supposed to.
A new Dawn, I think it's called.
Mhm.
And I think that's going to bridge the gaps between 3 and 4 a little better. And with the TV show, if they try to make a movie now, they're going to start like boxing themselves into like where in the galaxy they are and if there's going to cross any paths. I think the most likely thing we're going to see if there's a spinoff is it'll either take place during the events of something, but like, hey, this is what the camera didn't show you, like somewhere else, or it's going to bridge 6 and 7.
It's gonna be like the janitor sweeping up after all the people got blasted.
Right.
Alrighty, so joining us on the line, we got another fanboy here, Mike Paden. What's up, Mike?
Oh, genie!
Oh, dude, I want a Jawas spinoff. Just
Nice.
follow those little fuckers around. Those guys are adorable.
You know what they could do? You know, like they have that show, like where they go to junkyards and find what like treasures they can find. They could do like a version of that.
Like American Pickers or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Tatooine Pickers.
Then you can have like another
We should
version of
make
that with the...
Fanboys Anonymous. Fuck that. Let them do it. We're gonna take this idea.
All right.
And then we can have the version of the Pawn Stars thing where you can try to argue for power converters at Tashi Station. Be like, man, these power converters, they're not that good, bro. I could give you like $10.
Somebody brings in a lightsaber.
These are worth 100 credits. What are you talking about?
I don't know anything about lightsabers, but I got a friend of mine who's really into lightsabers.
You mind if I call him?
Shows up.
Let's just throw in Ancient Aliens to it. Some
Yeah.
kind of Coruscant extraterrestrial.
See, these ET aliens were from some kind of other galaxy. So, man, I want to see these TV shows now. Shit, that's terrible. So, other than Jawas doing their little American Pickers kind of thing and all that, which, damn, I really want to see that. It's ridiculous. That actually brings up a little bit of a point. We'll cycle back to a lot of the other topics too that we were talking about, because I'm sure we'll keep bouncing around the idea of bringing bridging the gap between them and stuff. But if you were going to pick like a side character, like somebody who really doesn't have much going on for them, what would you like to see some stories about? Because we're hearing a lot about like there's going to be a Han Solo movie, maybe a Yoda movie or whatever. But like there are people out there that really want like the story of IG-88 or something.
How'd you know that was who I was gonna pick? He actually has a cool story.
What is the background of IG-88?
He's like a mercenary robot. He's like one of the droids that worked himself out of being a slave.
Maybe I will see that.
Yeah,
I
see?
mean, no matter what, I will see no matter.
You like
enemies.
HK-47? HK-47?
Oh, wait, is he one of the bounty hunters?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was
Oh,
the one that
yeah.
the one that
Okay.
looked like a steamboat pipe.
He was the
Yeah.
boss on the train level of Shadows of the Empire.
Nice.
He's doing a, he's imagining a slam dunk during Darth Vader's speech.
That was the that really odd game where they were like, we can't do Han Solo, but you could be Han Solo with a different name and the Millennium Falcon with a different name, right? You're
I
like,
thought it was the Millennium Falcon. Like, isn't there a scene where Han Solo shows up and tells him he can borrow it?
is there? I thought it was like some knockoff.
No, there definitely is a part in the game.
Millennium
Dash Render's a real
Falcone.
character. Like, back when there used to be other books, Dash Render's an actual character.
Dash Rendar. We need
It's
a
still
cool
better than
name. How about
character.
Dash? Yeah, we're in the 90s. This is cool.
It's
Better than a lot of
2014.
the
We're
names.
gonna
in
name
the
him Poe.
prequels.
Yeah, it's better than Poe. That's right. Would you want to see a Dash Rendar movie? Fuck.
Hell yeah. After how awesome the video game was, I'm definitely down.
All I remember is there was one level where you were kind of up high, and I used to fuck up on that all the time. It pissed me off.
You know, with the ice cave level, where you gotta like jump between ledges.
I don't remember that one. Is that after that? I might not have gotten to
It's
that.
like the second level. The first level is the Battle of Hoth, and the second level is that level.
Okay.
I have no idea what video game you're on about.
Really? You never played
Yes.
Shadows of the Empire on N64?
N64. No, I didn't play it on the N64. I didn't play any Star Wars games on the N64. SNES and GameCube and Xbox.
So every system but N64.
But the N64,
PlayStation?
yeah. Yeah, I played episode 1 on the PlayStation 1.
That wasn't a
an
bad
awful
game. I like that game.
Check
You
out
guys
the
remember
Racer.
Star Wars Bounty Hunter for PS2?
Oh, I didn't like
Yeah.
that one.
Really? Oh, I love that.
I really dug the what is it? The 501.
Star Wars Battlefront?
No, it was like the squad or whatever, and you control the stormtroopers.
Oh,
Just
Star Wars Commando? Something.
Yeah,
something-
Commandos. That was a really good game.
That was a really good game. They should remake that.
And I'm knee deep in Knights of the Republic Online. I play the shit out of that.
There you go. There's a good idea for a movie spinoff. Knights of the Old Republic.
Oh, that'd be
Definitely.
great.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Well, then
Build
they
it
would have
around
to
Yoda?
acknowledge all that history.
Make like Yoda the main character, because you can get away with him with the CGI. Have that lead all the way up until I don't know, maybe the end of the last kind of Sith that they were talking about.
Right.
Was Plagueis?
No, because they never really mentioned Plagueis. Like, did they know Plagueis or not?
They mentioned him in episode 3, didn't they? That was
Not-
Sidious's master.
Not directly, but they mention him. They don't say him by name.
Right.
Well, Sidious mentions him, but I don't think the Jedi do, right?
No.
I mean, they say in episode 1, there's always 2. There's the Master and the
Master.
Apprentice.
Right.
And then they hint at the fact that Sidious killed his master, but they don't delve too much into it.
And Plagueis with his big old head.
Yeah, he's like stretched out taffy. Is what he looks like. It's really awkward. I was
I'd have killed
picturing
him
some
too. It looks like a big
badass.
dick.
Wait, did you say Taffy or Daffy, as in Daffy Duck?
Taffy, as in Taffy
Oh.
Tuck.
So I got a question. I was thinking. So we're talking about spinoffs. What other, like movie or franchise had successful spinoffs that were actually really good that you would like want to see? I couldn't think of any.
Spinoffs are tough. Like, TV shows tend to be better for spinoffs than movies.
The Avengers.
It's not a spinoff. It's,
It's not really
the
a
same
spinoff though.
same
No, all the
continuity, so.
spin-offs of it were good.
What do you
Yeah,
mean?
I wouldn't classify.
I mean,
that as
like
spin-off.
Iron Man and
Those were
Thor.
already movies, and then Avengers was like the.
But they're
culmination
spin-offs
right?
of the big story. That's the same idea as what's going on here. They're going to be side stories to the main story, and that's what all those movies are. Just because they came out before it, which is kind of like a twisted way of doing it, that was something unique they did, but it's still the same basic idea. They're fillers to the bigger overarching story that's told in those movies.
Yeah, but I mean, those are based off are loosely based off. I mean, the characters, but they're based off the comics, where the comics were them by themselves, and then they created the Avengers.
I
But they
can
weren't
name a
building
couple
towards the Avengers the whole
bad
time.
spinoffs. I can't think of any
Shield.
good ones. I like Agents and Shield. I think that's all right.
All right, how
They
about the
got better.
Jeffersons?
I got bored after 20 minutes.
Yeah,
Well,
I
how
was
about whoa? We're all forgetting Mork and Mindy.
There you go.
Laverne and Shirley. Come on.
Frasier.
Jeffersons.
That's it. The Jeffersons. Those are probably the best one. How do you have a spin-off from a show about a racist then be about a whole family of people of a different race?
And still
To
be
make
better
up
than
for
the
it?
Shield.
Yeah. I guess that's fair.
Guilty conscience. That's why.
He very carefully just tried to avoid saying black family.
I have class. I have to do it. Not like
Gee.
Mr. Drew White, who couldn't be here tonight.
So should we get like the Jeffersons version of Lando? Since he's like the only black guy that they've ever had in the original trilogy, and we can't have Mace Windu because he's dead.
I want a
thought
spin-off
about-
movie about Lando where he like sells out to the Empire and they're like, it'll be great. We'll put you in these Colt 45 commercials.
Do you think that Stormtrooper's related to Lando?
I hope so, but I don't think so.
That way
'Cause,
there.
what I've been hearing about Episode 7 is that they're not trying to make it like every character has all the offspring and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
But what I was really hoping as soon as they announced like these are the cast members, I was like, all right, well the chick is definitely going to be Luke and not Luke, Luke and Leia's kid. They
Luke and
took that
Leia's
to the next
kid.
level, didn't they?
They're doing a Game of Thrones spinoff.
Yeah, they were like that kiss wasn't good enough.
Yeah.
She's definitely going to be Han and Leia's kid. I mean, that's like a guarantee. They haven't confirmed it, but it's going to happen. So, if she's like the like romantic interest when it comes to John Boyega's character, I would totally love to see him be Lando's kid, so they can have like, you know, when they get together, it's like Han and Lando's family kind of converge
Right,
a
right.
little bit, and then they don't have to
Have
argue
little-
about who has the Millennium Falcon anymore because it's within the family.
Yeah, they'll have like a little Beyonce baby. It'll be awesome.
Yeah. But man, I don't know if they can pull off like a Lando spinoff. The only thing that's come out of Star Wars with Lando attached to it that I've really liked has been the Clerks animated TV show, where they introduced the black character named Lando, which was just
Yeah.
amazing. Hey Lando, hey Randall. It's just- that was so great.
If they were gonna do a TV show, what kind of TV show do you think they could pull off?
I don't think they can.
Wait,
Other
within the
than-
Star Wars universe?
Yeah,
So, like, you mean besides Rebels?
yeah, but I mean, like, like a live action, like an actual show.
Oh, a live action. That'd be
C-3PO and R2-D2's 2.5 Men.
Oh, there you go.
Wouldn't they
It
be
would-
more like the Odd Couple?
Did we already go over this
It could
with
be
the
the
Jawas?
Oh,
American
you're
Pickers.
combining it.
Well, they can make a whole network. Doesn't Disney have like another?
the Star Wars Network
Yeah.
for only $9.99.
That would be great.
Well,
Really-
like, who's really paying attention to the different versions of ABC that they have? Don't they have more than just ABC and ABC Family?
Yeah,
Shit,
I'm sure
if I
there's
know.
more.
Yeah, they have a bunch
I
of them.
don't even watch ABC Family, so that's not kind of the point. Get rid of ABC Family in general. Fuck families. Just have Star Wars,
Star Wars.
the Skywalker family. We can talk about like Ancestry.com, go
And
back
they-
to the lineage and shit.
They like
Disney-
slowly it shows them kissing, and then it's like the Star Wars family. We keep it all in the family.
They've already got Disney's already got Marvel doing Netflix TV shows. I mean, they could have Lucasfilm do Netflix TV shows also.
Is Lucasfilm still doing it? By the way,
Yeah, but he doesn't have anything to do with it, right?
Lucas doesn't have much to do with it. I think he's right now just a creative consultant.
so he's getting a paycheck for nothing.
Basically,
Pretty
they're
much.
gonna be like, "Hey, how would you have done this?" And he's like, "Well, I would have done it this way." And he's like, "All right, take that, but then like trim all the excess off of it."
Completely don't do that at all. All right.
Yeah, they're like, "Hey George, can you write some of the dialogue in this scene?" And he's like, "Fantastic." Then they're like, "Okay, because we want to ship it out to the writers and tell them whatever you do, avoid this."
And then they sell it to a porn studio, and it works out perfect.
There you go.
Something.
Well, that'll bring into to Sean's idea. Sean, what was your idea that you mentioned ahead of time?
What I mentioned ahead of time, a Natalie Portman and Keira Knightley sex tape.
Oh yeah, that'll work.
Oh,
Something anal.
Orgy
You know, I
of
was-
all the handmaidens. I'd watch that.
With Jar Jar Binks being the pizza delivery guy.
Oh god.
Jabba the Hutt be the pizza delivery guy.
You
That
should
would be
order
better.
extra sausage, Monkey Day. That's a spinoff we need. Just like 120 minutes of people killing Jar Jar. Bring him back
He's
to
a-
life, kill him, bring him back to life.
1,000 ways to die.
Yeah.
Did you ever see the
Featuring
thing they
Jar
did on Robot Chicken, where like Jar Jar came back to see Vader,
Yeah.
and like Vader killed him, he became a Force ghost and just followed him around everywhere.
Oh, Annie! I love you, Annie!
And then he takes off his helmet. He's like, "Whoa, Annie, what you do to your face?"
God, the worst character in anything that has ever happened in Star Wars that I've seen. That is just ridiculous.
So what I'm thinking they're gonna do for a TV show is more of a like dialogue based, kind of like I don't want to say Game of Thrones, but like more like a political kind of thing, and less about starships and more like the background stuff.
Oh God, that's what they could do. They could do a political thing and have like Keith Olbermann talk about the politics that are going on inside of the Senate chamber. It'll be like Hardball with Chris Matthews, but it'll be about the Supreme Chancellors. And shit.
You could do Law and Order. Boom, 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 boom.
I want to hear the John Williams version of that. That would kick ass.
Created by Dick Wolf.
I don't know.
Such
if
a
they could really-
manly name.
Yeah.
Dick.
I know, right?
Yeah, it's a lot manlier than Pussy Wolf. TV shows are tough though. Like, I've never gotten into the Clone Wars one because I hate that kind of animation style.
Mhm.
Yeah, Rebels is the same kind of
Yeah.
animation.
Yeah, same thing. And I know that they wanted to do a live action for a while, but that's got to be really tough to be able to pull off the special effects and stuff. Because even the shows like Smallville and stuff, they look really cheap, and they're trying to, downgrade their amount of CGI as much as possible. So you kind of can't do Star Wars without a lot of CGI.
Well,
it's
is this show going to be running on ABC Family or what? Like ABC? Is it going to be running on ABC?
You got to give it a channel that has more money.
Whatever it runs on, they're gonna. I mean, whatever channel it runs on, they're gonna get so much viewership from that however much money they put into it's gonna come back, tenfold.
Does
It's just
Disney own Sci-Fi?
I don't think so.
I'm sure they own everything.
At this point, they pretty much do.
At this one, yeah.
I hope it's not a sci-fi like show though. That would be disappointing.
I think that Sci-Fi.
It's owned by
owned-
NBC Universal.
Okay, never mind then.
So Disney owns ABC.
I think Disney owns Discovery. That might be the one. They own either Discovery, History Channel, or Sci-Fi, and it's one of those three.
Okay, they own ESPN.
They own ABC Family.
They
ABC Television Group is a division of the Walt Disney Company.
Well, what?
They're all
Regardless,
owned by
whoever
the
gets,
same people anyway.
yeah, that 1%.
Pepsi.
Oh wait, but we should have known that though because Agents of Shield runs on ABC.
I don't see them not doing a TV show, and whoever gets it's gonna make so much fucking money that I can't imagine it not being a really good show.
Unless they really phone it in.
Yeah, which I doubt they're gonna do. They know how much money they're gonna make off of it, man. Like, why wouldn't you want to put a bunch of time and effort into it? Disney owns HBO, right?
I don't know about that.
I don't know about that.
You know what would be interesting? A show about smugglers.
Oh yeah.
They have like Jabba the Hutt pop up as like one of the main villains.
Yeah, like even show off some of the Hutt family that they didn't really get to show.
There's like so many jokes that I can go here with different types of Hutts.
Sorry, but nothing's gonna top Pizza the Hut.
Fucking Spaceballs. I do not like that movie.
I love Spaceball. I see your Schwartz is as big as mine. Spaceballs 2, The Search for More Money.
I'll just watch Men in Tights. If they were going to do a TV show and they were trying to keep that as like minimal for the CGI as possible, though, what would you guys like to see? Would you like to see a Smugglers one? Would you want to see something based around the Jedi?
Jedi's gonna be too expensive. I feel like it would just, if we're talking about price, Smugglers is a lot easier to do.
Well, I think they would leave the Jedi storyline to like
The movies.
the movies, yeah.
Yeah.
And use the TV shows as like, political fucking stuff.
Yeah, especially if you're gonna do, if you're gonna set the Smugglers show during the Imperial era.
Yeah.
I think you'd kind of have to at that point.
Yeah.
As far as like spin-offs, I could see like any of you guys read the Tales of Jabba's Palace, like that book that came out. That was good. I think that they could do a spin-off TV show of just some of the different things going on at Jabba's Palace, because there's a lot of interesting characters there, a lot of background. They all have their own story, and they developed it in the books in the expanded universe. But as far as a live action version of that, I think that would be really cool.
Yeah, that definitely seems like and then it's a lot cheaper because it's all in one area, it's all in the same building or whatever it is, and you go through like either however the story plays out, the new story. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that would make perfect sense.
Here's another idea. People like The Voice and American Idol and all that kind of shit. Max Rebo.
Nice noodles.
Dude, it's about the fucking pipe band that they have playing,
That
That they
Blue
only know that
Elephant.
one song.
Oh, God.
We
Well,
could
I
get
like-
some after hours show with all the dancing strippers.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening to our music. What do you want us to play next? Play the same song. Same song. Here we go.
It's a good
It
song.
was a big mustakey. It was a no, guys. We've all seen Robot Chicken, evidently. All right, so they own A&E, History, H2, FYI, Military Channel, Lifetime.
Disney owns the History Channel.
Mm-hmm. ABC.
Military Channel can do specials about the
Right?
different imperial military and everything.
They own Hulu.
What if they did start doing that? Like they just took over all these different networks and replaced them with like fictional Star Wars things. People would be so pissed off. I go to the Military Channel to actually learn about World War II and stuff, not about the Battle of Yavin. What the fuck's going on here?
And then Grand Moff Han. No.
You know what I want finally answered, and maybe we can get it in a spin-off movie? The theory floating around that Boba Fett was the one who killed Luke's aunt and uncle, not the stormtroopers.
I watched that. They did like a little YouTube video, or maybe it was like a text thing, but I saw that, and it seemed convincing. I liked it.
It makes
Yeah.
a lot more sense because they really suck at shooting.
And like they were literally burned to the bone. Like literally they were just flaming skeletons like fucking Ghost Rider.
And then he's like, and no disintegrations this time.
He's like, ah,
Right.
fuck, all right. No fun.
Oh, really? You gotta?
That would make a lot more sense. I
Well,
know
would
that
you
Boba
want to see a
Fett's one
show
of
about
those
Boba Fett?
characters- Well, I know that that's one of the characters that they really understand is like hugely popular.
Right.
So, one way or another, we're getting Boba Fett something. Whether it's
Yeah, aren't they
a
aren't
book,
they saying that one of those movies that they're gonna do other movies about other characters? I thought the Boba Fett was supposed to be one of them.
I could easily
Maybe.
see that being one of those. One theory that I've been hearing is that the Boba Fett one might not happen until after they do a Han Solo one, because they can make Han Solo and Boba Fett like go off against each other in a movie.
That would be cool.
You know, do young Han Solo when he's still, he hasn't gotten the Falcon yet. Maybe he gets it from Lando or something, I don't know, in the movie. But that way, when they do show the two of them in Return of the Jedi, and he's like, Boba Fett, he says it in the same exact way twice, I don't know why. He's got to know Boba Fett. It's not just like,
Yeah.
Boba Fett? Who the fuck is that, Chewie?
Yeah, but then who would play a young Han Solo though?
That's yeah. I didn't know they were actually gonna do one where he was a young Han Solo because that does not sound appealing to me.
Obviously, it would be Shia
Wait, well,
LaBeouf.
how old was Han Solo when they were? How old was he when they first introduced him? Like mid-30s, early
35, I
30s,
think.
something like that. So
Yeah.
how young are they going to go? Like 10 years before Episode 4? Like
Probably, I guess.
if you go 20, I don't want to see a 15-year-old.
Well, he was a slave at that time, and then he was part of the, and then he was Imperial, right?
A little bit, I think.
Yeah, he was trained by them, and then like got out. Oh well, I guess that's all. It's not part of the storyline anymore. So
You know who I could see playing that? Zac Efron.
No,
No,
God.
he's actually not a bad actor.
did
No.
you really just say that?
Yeah.
Tell me you didn't just say that.
Damn. No, please don't do that.
He
I had
was
to
somebody
Google
who
who that
was
was.
long in the running to play a character in the new series. Like, they kind of threw everybody's name out there, but his name was showing up for like months.
So Zac Efron ruined his career when he did High School Musical on the ring.
isn't that
That
where
was
his
the
career
start
like,
of
started it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
He
that's
ruined
what
it by
ended
beginning
as well.
I think he really 17 again.
he ruined my ability to get boners from Disney movies.
Uh,
Oh my!
I feel
mic
like
is-
there's plenty of guys out there that think the opposite.
Where's Wago?
I could see him being a part of that. Who would they get to play young Chewie? Because Peter Mayhew can't do this forever.
Well, it doesn't really matter if they're in a costume.
regular human.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but, like, are there really guys tall enough to be able to play that part?
Sure.
There's tall people all over the world. What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
Peter Mayhew's like
It's not
8 foot tall.
It's not like tall people have gone out of existence.
You could throw heels on Paden and he'd be tall enough. It doesn't. I mean,
You could have a 6'2" Chewie if he's young Chewie.
Jesus Christ, dude, we could put freaking Caitlyn in the costume and make her look tall enough.
Anthony's like, there's
They
no
did it.
other person.
No, I'm convinced no other people can play
Hang on.
Chewbacca.
You do realize Chewie isn't a real person, right? Like, that's not a real like.
All right,
Animal.
well, if you could find a real person that looks like Chewie, then holy fuck, cast the hell out of them because they already got the hair and everything covered. It's like Cousin It.
Hey, I give a call to my ex-wife. Oh, yeah.
They really did not have to do this for Episode 7, getting Peter Mayhew to be Chewie.
And Kenny Baker to be R2 again.
Right.
Like, if you can make that little hamster ball, soccer ball looking droid be a legitimate real droid, you can make R2D2, and you don't need to shove a fucking midget in there. Like, it's hot.
Hey man, we can send flying drones to destroy other people's countries. I think we can figure out a way to make R2 drive around on set without a little guy in him.
Maybe they could do the same with the Ewoks.
Don't do Ewoks.
By the way, does anybody want to see the Ewoks get slaughtered in these new films? Because I totally want to.
I
I
have
will
this
not see them at all ever
I
again.
don't mind them.
Gosh. What's wrong with the Ewoks?
They're
I don't
little
mind the
fuckers.
Ewoks.
I don't like the Ewoks.
Think about them. They're evil as crap, man.
Yeah, so is
Did
everyone
any
else
of
in
you
Star
see that
Wars.
bloody Star Wars Ewoks movie?
Yeah,
Oh,
with
hell
Drew
no.
Yeah.
I wouldn't see a
Barrymore?
whole movie about them, but
God, that was awful.
Is it? It's not new. It's old, right? Would you
It was
Barrymore?
really, really
Very
old.
old.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember watching it when I was a kid, and they have to fight like a spider and stuff. I don't know.
There you
Yeah,
go.
there's a
was just
successful
spin-off.
spin-off.
It was Drew Barrymore before she had boobs and was interesting.
I want to see what happens after the Star Wars Christmas special.
The aftermath.
I want to see the Star Wars Hanukkah special.
Oh.
I don't know. Star Wars Kwanzaa one might be better.
Well, you forget they lived in an imperial.
It's got Lando
empire.
in it.
Just
Yeah,
Lando,
just Lando
standing around
by himself.
They lived in an empire for decades. I don't think there's any more Jewish galactic.
Yeah, I was gonna say, which Star Wars character would be Jewish if you had to pick one?
They're all
Lobot.
on. They're all on Mustafar right now.
Yeah, maybe Lobot. Maybe. Oh, you know who would be Jewish? The
Natalie
Watto.
Portman.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Watto.
Watto totally is Jewish.
Oh yeah.
Only money. They just did not apologize for that stereotype at all.
And he
did
has,
they?
he has like the big long nose too.
It's so bad. Like, why
Very-
did they let Lucas do this kind of shit? He had so many good ideas in episode 1, and then so many shitty ones to back it up.
That's probably
was-
why Disney bought him. They were like, I'm proud of this guy.
You know, you had redone episodes 1, 2, and 3, but took it out of Lucas's hands. Like if he did the original script and just gave you the same script, I think they could have made some nice edits to it and made a really cool trilogy. It had really cool ideas,
Yeah.
but like it completely fell apart with Attack of the Clones. Like that only has like a nugget of a few things that were interesting. But like Revenge of the Sith has a lot of good material. Phantom Menace has a lot of good material. It was just like bogged down by like Lucas going, you know this Jar Jar character. You think he's a good idea? Oh yes, sir. Yes, George Lucas. He says bring Jar Jar Binks. Get Jar Jar Binks in there.
It's
Right
like
away,
they're,
Mr. Lucas.
they're having like a meeting, and they're like, look, guys, I don't know what to do about George. He gave us this great pod race thing, but he also wants Jar Jar to step and poop. What do we do? Shit. Well,
Well, as long as he doesn't do anything with his tongue, I think we'll be all right.
what does the lightsaber look like? Oh, it's a double one. Oh, fuck. All right, I guess we're making this movie.
Because we gotta do this. I'm a big
That's
fan
badass.
of not doing anything, like not making Darth Vader or Anakin the central characters of the story.
I
I
didn't
was-
mind that because
I like.
if you watch them in order though now from 1 through 6, it's kind of the story of Anakin Skywalker.
Mhm.
Even though Luke is the central focus of the last trilogy, it's still like sort of Anakin's redemption story through his son.
Yeah, but if you really think about it, I mean, he was just like the henchman of the Emperor. You know what I mean? Like he didn't wasn't a huge deal as far as like the
mean,
originals.
Yeah, but Vader's always like put on like the top 10 greatest villains list. Like
Right.
he still is a menace just on screen.
He's up
even
there
though
with the
he's only-
governor.
He's
So,
better
like-
than Emperor, I think.
Oh,
And I
definitely.
thought they like all the things they did with the original, not the original, the prequel trilogy, were like they almost equated him to like Jesus and Lucifer at the same
Yeah.
time, being like the greatest of the Jedi, and then the fall of it. Seeing him on Mustafar, where like his eyes were like yellow and stuff. Like I thought that was really cool, but then they bogged it down with that terrible back and forth between him and Obi-Wan.
Well, and then I mean, even like I watched it in the theater, and I really enjoyed the last fight scene, and he's like his legs are on fire, and it's really emotional, and it's got all this stuff. And then when they bring him back to life, and he does the whole no, like I remember
Everybody
laughing
That was
out
awful.
loud in the theater.
Oh yeah, they
And, like-
completely killed all the. And then when Padme, it's like she's completely healthy, but she's lost the will to live.
Oh, I know.
It's like, well, she doesn't appear in A New Hope.
Well,
She's got to die.
I think after the first movie, they all lost the will to finish the fucking trilogy, so they all just phoned it in.
And then Leia like remembering her mother, but like she was just born and then her mother died.
I still think
yeah,
they
that's
could have gotten
right.
away with that if they would have just had her not only born first, but if she would have like given her a kiss on the cheek or something.
Or
Then it
well, I
could
mean,
have been like, well, you know, the Force. You know,
Yeah.
they don't have TV in there. They don't have video of her.
all the video they have is of the
Wait,
the
did-
birth where she's dying.
Yeah.
I also don't. They probably
know if
weren't
that
thinking of
screams-
let's record this for future generations after like the Jedi have just been destroyed and this woman is dying giving birth.
She's a senator, so I assume that they would have video of her.
See, I always
yeah,
assumed
like-
that Leia was on about her like stepmom or her adopted mother. That's what I thought she was on
Well,
about.
you could have
when she
also said that the Empire took over the Jedi Temple and everything, so they could have deleted all the records of Padme.
Maybe that's another TV show where
See, this is
like
what
the
the TV
record
shows.
guy.
We're writing the TV show right now. Where's Paden? We need somebody to come up after us.
We need somebody with
the
a
history stuff.
What's the name of that show where it's like a swordsmith kind of guy or something?
Oh yeah.
Like the blacksmith people, they make shit. You can do
I
that
don't
with lightsabers.
Probably something like Cutting Edge.
Yeah, I can just see the logo right now. Then like a little slice mark goes through it.
The Saber's Edge. Yeah.
Hey, welcome to Cutting Edge. I'm Ted Johnson, everybody. Some generic guy that they hired for really cheap.
They paid
I
me
know
for
it's
hair
stupid.
gel. It's great.
Welcome to the History Channel. This has nothing to do with history, but you know nobody really cares about history anymore.
Well, Discovery Channel now is all just fucking car stuff.
Ugh. There you go, car TV show.
Yep.
Pod race,
That's about pod racing.
speeders and shit. You could probably get a lot of people that would watch that though. That's the thing.
Do you think I could do like Pimp My Ride?
Yeah, Pimp My Speeder.
Fit by
Pit my
pod.
speaker. Pit my pod. There you go.
Hosted by Sebulba. Since he's actually kind of cool.
You know, it would
Top
be probably
Gear
be
would
cool. They
Pod
could
Gear.
like if they had like chicken walker races.
I love how we're getting more TV shows than movies.
Well, I mean, they
I don't
already
think
said
any
they
of these would keep people's interest for more than 30 minutes.
Is
30
anybody
minutes
against...
is really giving it a lot more than I think.
I'm
People will be like, that's kind of funny. I'm not gonna watch it.
I'm not particularly a fan of, and I'm not a sexist, but I'm not a fan of a female lead character throughout the whole series.
Ooh.
Am I the only one?
No, I'm on board with you.
I just
doesn't make a difference as long as
I
they're
don't think it
doesn't
cares
matter,
as long as the story is good.
yeah.
See that's the caveat with here. If they made this and they went, look, we got to have a chick because we haven't had a chick, and let's just do it because she's a chick.
Yeah, it
Then
can't
it's
be.
gonna be annoying as hell.
It can't be
Yeah.
contrived. Then it's
Mhm.
stupid. But if it's a genuinely written character, well-written character, that's awesome, and she just kicks ass with a lightsaber, and she goes through struggles and overcomes it, and it's not just finding a pair of shoes, then fucking awesome. I'm in
If
for
she's
it.
more
And
like that.
considering
More
Mon Mothma and Leia are like the only women in the Star Wars universe, I wouldn't care seeing like a female-led film.
You just get Joss Whedon to write for it. He can write a strong female character that's interesting.
Oh yeah.
I had read something before that I thought was pretty interesting though. Prequel trilogy, the Skywalker that we're following is just Anakin. The original trilogy, we've got twins. Then in this one, if she is technically a Skywalker, then we've got a female. So each trilogy is a different Skywalker setup.
So she would have a brother?
Maybe.
So what do they do next? Do we have to get like a tranny Skywalker?
Maybe. What I'm really hoping is the case here is that Domhnall Gleeson, I think that's how you pronounce his name. I'm really hoping that he's Luke's kid. Nothing really has been leaked out about that, but they're not saying his name or anything. He's just like he's in the movie too, but don't pay attention to that. So it's like, as long as he's not like Poe Dameron kind of a thing. I'm hoping that he's like Ben Skywalker.
He does kind of look like him, and he's ugly as fuck.
Yeah, I'm looking him up right now. He's just a redheaded little weirdo over here. Well, not little. He's 6'1", but
He's 6'1"?
Dude,
Yeah.
he can play
Holy
fucking
shit! It could be
Chewbacca.
Chewbacca.
young Chew-
It's Chewie's son. There you are.
Tony's like, the Star Wars is saved.
Oh my god, you can just have him in no scenes with Chewie so he can play both parts.
He does look a lot like Luke, though. I'll give you that.
Mm-hmm.
Mark
I
Hamill.
can see that.
Especially if they keep that Mara Jade thing going, which they probably won't, but
That
that
they
could be the
erased her
difference.
as a character.
That could be the difference between why he's got the reddish hair.
Well, based on everything that I've heard about The Force Awakens, Luke is kind of playing the Ben Kenobi of this new movie, where like he's got his beard all hanging out, like he looks very unkept. And they're basically saying like if the rumors are true, Episode 7 might open up where he didn't even like rebuild the Jedi. Like he just went into like seclusion and stuff afterwards.
I heard, yeah, because he's like a hermit now because he doesn't know. Something happened after, like he can't control it or something like that. Did you read about that? Where like
And that's
thinking
why
that
they're
maybe,
calling it like the Force Awakens or something.
right, and he's basically turned into a hermit and like hid himself because he doesn't want to, like destroy his loved ones basically.
Hmm.
And
what do
like
you
the
guys think
first
about-
movie's getting towards him.
What do you guys think about Kenobi in general? Because I loved Ewan McGregor's version,
Mm-hmm.
and I would totally be fine with if we're gonna see anything that happens between episodes 3 and 4. If they could get Ewan McGregor to come back and be Obi-Wan, that would kick ass, I think.
And
Did
I'd
he
like to
hate
see. Oh, Ewan McGregor?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he hated-
he hated the role.
Good.
Yeah,
I thought he
yeah.
loved it.
I thought that he
Nah.
said in a recent interview that he would love to go back anytime that they would offer it.
Well, fucking money, yeah. But I'd read like a long time ago that he had hated the role and hated the character.
Well,
But
I'd
I
like to
don't-
see a little continuity between the two trilogies. I know, like, a lot of the hardcore fans wish the prequels didn't happen, but like, I'd like to see them mix it up a little bit and maybe have Luke having a conversation with Kenobi's Force Ghost, and it's Ewan McGregor.
Right.
That actually brings up a good point, though. Would you want to have him have a conversation with Yoda and Anakin? And if he's having it with Anakin, do you bring back Hayden Christensen?
Oh God, no.
No.
Because I mean, now we've got the kind of like the whole who shot first debate. You have like, is the Force Ghost older Anakin or is it younger Anakin? Like, where do you define when Anakin Skywalker, like, quote unquote, died?
I would
Like,
define
body.
it wherever Hayden Christensen isn't in it. That's where you would put
I
the line.
agree.
As awful as Hayden Christensen is, and I think we can all agree that he's awful, I think he should be in it just for continuity's sake. You know, and don't have a big role for him, but just for continuity.
Yeah, and it's if you didn't do that, then you'd have to cast an older actor just to play Anakin Skywalker Force Ghost.
That could be better, though.
It could be, but I mean, I don't think Hayden Christensen, I don't think is that strong of an actor, but he also didn't get very good direction from George Lucas.
Oh,
So
definitely.
I think in the hands of J.J. Abrams, for the 5 minutes he could be on screen, I don't think it's going to take away from anything.
Maybe that's Simon Pegg's role. He is supposed to be in the movie somewhere.
Yeah.
And he said that he wasn't playing a character that was just like, hey, look at Simon Pegg. So,
Oh, he's actually
That
going to be
just
in
means
it. Like,
He's probably going to be an alien then.
yeah, I would assume so. But who knows? Maybe he's Anakin, and they just photoshopped Hayden Christensen's face over him.
He's wearing a Hayden Christensen like mask.
I'm
No,
really
he's wearing just the Vader mask, like a Halloween costume.
Like the Force
It's just like,
Change.
remember when I used to look like this? Like,
He's wearing the Darth Vader voice changer toy.
That's right.
Oh, man.
I'd be a big fan of letting Mark Hamill, because I mean he does the Joker voice, and letting him, if it was possible, kind of like dive into, because he's a hermit now, right? So him being like kind of like a crazy old man kind of thing, where he can like go towards the dark and come towards the light, and they're trying to like bring him back and forth, and just watching him like go crazy, I think would be really cool, because I'm sure he can do a lot of different voices, and just his acting, I'm sure, has gotten better over the years.
I'd love to see that deleted scene where he becomes Cockknocker.
I don't follow.
Jay and Silent Bob.
Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
Oh, okay, never mind.
So, Shaun, you play the video games quite a bit. What kind of video game spin-offs would you like to see? Are you kind of in the same boat where it doesn't really matter if it has storyline?
Oh God, it's gotta have a strong story. To keep me invested in a video game, it's gotta have a strong story. That's why I like The Force Unleashed, which was, for me, my favorite Star Wars game up until
Which is now not canon at all, but
Was it
Up in-
ever really supposed to be, though?
Yeah.
it
Well,
was supposed to.
remember back in the
Code
day
is
they
that.
used to have things like G canon, like U canon or something. Like they had like levels of like, yeah, this is like 80% true, or hey, this is like 50% true.
confusing.
But I remember
Right.
when this came out, this was touted as, canon, and it was a big deal, and it was a great game.
Yeah.
And I
Wow.
love it.
They're already the end of this year, I think, coming out with another Star Wars Battlefront that is going to be canon.
Which would be awesome.
Shaun, you were saying it needs a strong storyline.
It's gotta have a strong storyline to keep me invested. So I would like to see. I don't know what I would like to see. To be honest, I haven't given it much of a thought process, but I would like to see what would have happened, like in between the third and the fourth. You know, the
I'd like to see
development
what Darth
between,
Vader
like,
did.
Darth Vader and like how Obi-Wan Kenobi like trained in the sand. You know, I can't think what it's called. I'll be out your voice.
You want to see how that crate dragon died?
They showed how he died in Robot Chicken.
Did they?
Yeah, and he's like in a pond, and she's like, "There's nothing out there but desolate wasteland. I'm gonna be the first crate dragon to roam the world." And then it's like 10 minutes later.
You see the bones.
So, Shaun, you were saying that you Force Unleashed until what? Like until you played what?
Well, I was a big fan of the Battlefront games, and I'm really looking forward to this new Battlefront that they're going to be doing. I'm just hoping that Disney's not going to fuck it up, because they were in the middle of making what I thought was going to be a great Star Wars game, but I can't remember what it's called, and Disney decided to can it.
Was that the Bounty
I
Hunter
know
one?
which one you're talking about.
But
Was
I
it the
can't.
Bounty Hunter one?
Yeah, it was the Bounty Hunter one. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was really looking forward to that, and I had that on pre-order, and Disney decided to go, yeah, we're not doing that now.
Damn, you already had it pre-ordered?
Yeah, I had it already pre-ordered. Yeah.
Jeez. Are you a fan of the Knights of the Republic series?
I am indeed.
Do you play the online version?
I do indeed.
We're gonna make out later when this is done, right?
Oh, it's okay.
Now, Stahlman, you read the books. Calen, you mentioned that you read the books. I've never gotten into the expanded universe. I know some of the stuff just from like reading like Wikipedia and stuff. What do you guys think about the idea of the Solo twins possibly being in these films? Like, I'm hearing that possibly the main character of this film is their version of that, and maybe Adam Driver's character is another version. If they're gonna do that, is there any kind of like spin-off material that they might be able to bring in?
You can go first, Bob.
No, I'd be okay with that. As far as how they develop it, I mean, it's really wide open at this point. I'd be okay with anything, you know, just as long as the storyline is good. I'd be open to just about any ideas that they have with that. As far as the books go, you know, like I was mentioning, I have read some of the books in the expanded universe. There's way more that I haven't read than what I have. But you know, like I think if they developed any of those storylines, as long as the story is good, I'd be on board.
This goes for all listeners and everybody here. If you haven't read the Star Wars, the Essential Chronology, it's a book you can pick up for like $15. You can order it off Amazon if you want, or Books A Million or whatever. Definitely go pick that up. And even though it's not canon anymore, it's basically just the history of Star Wars, and it goes into details about the characters and all these different storylines, and it goes way back before Knights of the Republic, and then way past the Battle of Yavin. It's really entertaining, and that's where I read most of the stuff, and that's how you like learn that Chewbacca dies, and as long as they don't kill Chewbacca, I think I'll be okay with whatever they do.
Did you hear how Chewbacca died though?
Yeah, the twins. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I don't want to fuck them over.
he was saving them though, and a giant moon just crashes into him.
What?
Well,
He's standing there on the planet, and he's looking up at the moon hurtling towards him, and he just screams at it, and the moon crashes down.
Well, it's because Solo's kid was being a little shit, and he like Chewbacca had to jump off the plane or off the ship to save Solo because he didn't want to live, or he was doing something stupid. So he threw him on the ship. The ship had to take off, otherwise they would all die.
But like
And
he went out like a
Chewbacca's-
bamf though.
Oh yeah.
A moon crashes on him. They're like,
The only
"Fuck you, Peter Mayhew."
Tony's like, the only thing that could kill a man this tall is a moon.
He actually just gets squashed down a couple inches so they can find actors to play the part.
He becomes like 3 or 4 Ewoks.
He's actually Peter Dinklage in Game of Thrones. But there's a lot of storylines that they could go in any direction, and I mean, he's read the books. He's played Knights of the Republic. I mean, there's so much information, and those are so good, and there's so much history and all that if those people can make that, then the people at Disney can hire good enough people to make some really good shows, and I doubt they're going to fuck it up. This next year or two is going to be a phenomenal, couple years for Star Wars fans.
The other main story that I've been hearing that doesn't really get any kind of mentioning when it comes to the spinoffs, as far as I've been reading reports and stuff. I don't know how to pronounce it for sure, but I think it's Yuzon Vong.
Uh-huh.
Those kind of offshoot alien race people. What do you guys think about that? Would that be something that you'd like to see in the future films?
As far as I know, that was like people didn't enjoy that because it was almost like a Star Trek. What are the robots that come in and take over everybody?
The Borg.
Yeah, it was kind of like a Borg kind of thing.
Oh, Borg. I don't know too much about them, but they're like the Force doesn't work against them or something like that. It seemed like a very contrived, well, these guys are badass and nothing can beat them kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
It reminded me a little bit of the second season of the Power Rangers, where for some reason every bad guy that was in the main series just left because the evil machine empire came, and they're so much worse than we are. So I don't know. I don't know if I really want to see something like that, but I would like to see Thrawn.
I would love to see.
Oh,
Heir to the
definitely.
Empire. Yeah. If there's gonna be one that bridges the gap between 6 and 7, Heir to the Empire would be an awesome way to start it off.
What's the name of that thing that they are starting to do now with Rebels? The Inquisitors or something?
Yeah, where like the Inquisitors are like sent off to I think what are they sent off to kill the last of the Jedi that survived Order 66?
Right.
But
I've actually never seen Rebels.
They're basically like Jedi hunters.
Right.
Nobody
They're
expects
not
the Rebel
actual
Inquisition.
Sith. Yeah, they're not actual Sith, from what I understand, but they're trained in the ways of the Force, and they have red lightsabers, but they don't want to call them Sith, I guess.
They're like independent contractors.
Well, like they're trained. They're trained by Darth Vader, and they spoiler alert for anybody who hasn't seen Star Wars Rebels. The last episode, the season finale, they kill the Inquisitor that's going after them, and the Emperor sends someone else to go take care of them, and it's Darth Vader.
Oh, cool. Great. Now it's ruined things. No, I was kidding. No, but I'm a big fan. It's like his hand, basically, like Darth Vader's hand.
Wasn't that what Mira J was called?
Yeah,
wasn't
at one point,
she referred to as the hand?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What about the Sith species? Like the red.
Like the one Sith?
No, there's like red. They're like red, and I'm trying to think. Continue, and I'll Google it. Sorry.
Are they like actually like an alien race?
Yeah, like they're. Well, I want to say that they met them. Some Sith were like they left and they were going into like the unknown territory on the outside of the galaxy, and they were there for a long time, and then they came back and they had all these. This is like way past Battle of Yavin and stuff, so this is like way in the future, and like I want to say Luke's one of his like grandchildren or something like that. He's like a bounty hunter, and he uses a lightsaber, and it's this whole storyline. It's really good, and I'll find the name of it and I'll give you guys links. Sorry.
All I know about the expanded universe when it comes to Luke's kids beyond Ben is that they all have weird ass names. It's like Cade Skywalker and
that wasn't that bad actually.
One of them's got like really bad Jerry curl kind of hair.
Doesn't one of them just like totally wuss out and like finds out his grandfather was Darth Vader and like that makes him go to the dark side? Like, oh no, my grandfather was Darth Vader, now I'm gonna be evil.
Well, like, sorry, honey, I gotta get a divorce. My grandfather was Hitler. Sorry. I love your mom, though. She's a nice lady.
See, that's why I can never get into the expanded universe, and why, if they're gonna do spin-off movies and stuff, I'll watch all of them. But if they start doing more books and everything, like, I still won't be able to read the books. Like, there's just something about that it doesn't cross over to me.
I think they've said, like, even though, like, all the video games, all the comics, all the books from now on are going to be canon, it's more just like sprinkles on your ice cream. Right. Like, you might see like little hints in the movies of something that happened, and you'll be like, "Oh, that was in the book, A New Dawn." But like, if you didn't read the book, you'll just be like, "New character."
Right, and I think people are more apt now to read, actually read the books and read the comics now that you know it's part of the canon and there's, you know what I mean? Like it's official. Like the new Leia and Luke and Vader comics that just came out.
Well, it's canon until somebody else takes over the franchise in 30 years and says all this is not canon.
Right.
I'll be dead from diabetes by then, so it's okay with me. From drinking soda and watching Star Wars.
Trilogy years for all the How I Met Your Mother fans. So let's just go around one more time. Shaun, any other ideas that you had that we haven't touched upon yet? All those ideas? All right, we're going to move on from John then.
Wait,
Paden,
did his mic drop out?
He's sneezing.
Maybe. Paden, any other things that come to your mind?
No, I mean honestly, I'm ready to just sit back and see what they got in store for us. I'd like to be surprised.
Very much agreed.
My
Sam?
microphone was on mute. My bad.
Oh.
You just asking for like any final thoughts on like spin-off movies?
Yeah. We'll go back to you in a
Either-
second, Shaun.
The only other things I'd like to see are either a trilogy, like a spin-off trilogy of the Old Republic, or I would like to see the Thrawn trilogy as like a spin-off series.
What about you, Shaun? Anything else we haven't touched upon yet?
I want a motherfucking Disney ride.
Ooh. Yeah, that's true. They do need to start doing that.
Yeah.
Other than that, I can't think of anything.
For all those times you go to Disney World, Shaun?
I've been to Disney World 3 times, amigo.
Oh, well, I'll be damned. Okay.
Yeah.
I've only been to the American ones like one each.
Florida twice and Paris once.
I don't think Paris counts.
No, it's fake
It's
Florida.
Paris.
It's fake Disneyland.
Isn't Europe only like exist on the internet anyway?
Calen, any other ideas?
Like you guys were saying, I think the Thrawn trilogy would be cool. I'd like to see some more development of that on screen. Basically, overall, I'm just excited that it's in new hands. The franchise is in new hands now. I want to see what J.J. Abrams does with it. Is Abrams doing the other the sidequels or whatever, the spin-off ones?
No,
He's
they're
only doing this
all
one
different
movie, isn't he?
directors.
Okay.
He might be
The only-
producing them, though.
Yeah, the only rumor right now is that he's going to come back and direct 9, but that hasn't been confirmed yet.
Okay. Well, either way, I'm excited that it's in new hands. You know, hopefully we can take it in some fresh new directions, and I'm just excited to see where they go with it.
Yui Ball's going to do one of them. Stahlman, any other things?
No, I'm the same way. I I hope that they do some sort of TV show that gets not just the hardcore fans, but it appeals to my wife, so I can have something to sit and watch with her, and it's an actually good TV show. I think that would be really cool. And then I think they should do some kind of fish eating contest where they can win T-shirts.
All right, so the one last thing that we have to do is plug some stuff going on in our world, so we want you guys to check out. So who wants to go first?
Well, I
ain't got
guess
no
I'm gonna
plugs,
go first.
So there we go.
I'll go first.
You can go ahead.
I've done my plugs. I have nothing to plug.
Oh, okay. Well, you guys can catch more articles from me on fanboysanonymous.com. This is Sam Lassia. So anytime you see something Star Wars or Marvel related, it might be me.
Calen, Stahlman, Paden?
Just check out all the great stuff on Fanboys Anonymous, Markout Moment, all that good stuff.
If you're in Texas, in Austin, you can come to Sketchfest and watch me perform. I do 3 shows a night at Cold Town Theater if you're in Austin. So hit me up if you're coming to South by Southwest. Other than that, no.
Paden, round us out.
If you enjoyed listening to my voice, you can listen to me very often at all the shows happening on megapowersradio.com, specifically the Raw Post Show on Monday nights if you're a wrestling fan. You can also find anything going on in my world by following me on Twitter at MRPADEN. That's Mr. Paden.
Alrighty, guys. Stay tuned to everything else that we had mentioned here, along with the other things coming from fanboysanonymous.com, the different podcasts like the For Real Movie Club, Review Point, other group meeting episodes, Sand and Snow podcast if you're interested in the Game of Thrones kind of stuff. One way or another, just follow the Facebook and Twitter accounts and fanboysanonymous.com for all that information. Go to Smarkout Moment and all of the other A Mango Tree projects. And for everybody on the panel, all the fanboys and fangirls that couldn't be here, I'm Tony Mango. I am a fanboy. This meeting is adjourned. See you next time, everyone.